Ah, France, the land of love, laughter, and a long line of, questionable monarchs. Welcome to my channel. And today we rate taking a light-hearted journey through the history of some of the stupidest kings France has had the displeasure of crowning. Because let's face it, if you think King Charles is bad, wait till you meet his royal predecessors. We'll start with King Charles VI, the guy who made Shakespeare's Richard III look like a model of mental stability. Now granted, Charles wasn't always the most stable. In fact, after a head injury in jousting, he suffered from temporary amnesia, which meant he sometimes forgot he was king. But hey, when you're forgetting your own name, you know you've taken things too far. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, Charles managed to lose nearly every battle he fought, earning him the nickname Charles the Mad. France lost lots of territory during his reign, thanks in part to his spectacular inability to remember basic facts like, oh, I don't know, why he was waging a war, or how many enemies he had just made a treaty with. And to top it all off, he kicked off his reign with a bang, literally setting fire to the Chateau d'Est, Paul after mistaking it for an enemy castle. Yeah, you heard that right. He burned down his own home. So if you ever feel like your kingdom isn't giving you enough attention, remember, there's always jousting, arson, and starting a war with, well, literally everyone. Next, we have Louis XV, the king who loved to things, mistresses, and losing wars. Seriously, this guy had more mistresses than common sense. And in terms of wars, he managed to lose the Franco-Spanish War, the War of the Spanish Succession, and the War of the Austrian Succession. But hey, who's counting? Louis was so obsessed with having fun. He once hosted a massive party in Versailles where he dressed as a hairy wild man and chased women around the palace. Classy, just classy. Unfortunately, his taste for debauchery did not extend to financial responsibility. He lavished gifts on his mistresses, managed to bankrupt the country, and left France in debt for generations. The guy was so broke when he died, they had to sell his collection of art and antiques to pay for his funeral. Talk about a royal flush. And finally, we have Charles X, the king who tried to rewrite history, but ended up writing his own downfall. Charles was a Bourbon king who took the throne in 1824 and promptly began undoing every liberal reform France had made since the French Revolution. He censored the press, shut down universities, and even tried to ban the teaching of evolution in schools. Yeah, you heard that right. Charles X, the king who thought he could turn back the clock and somehow make the Industrial Revolution go backwards. His disastrous reign lasted only 6 years, and in 1830, he was forced to abdicate in favor of his cousin, Louis Philippe. So there you have it. A brief history of some of France's most, shall we say, mentally challenged monarchs. Hopefully this little crash course has taught you 3 very important things about French history. No. 1. Don't trust a king with a funny hat. No. 2. Avoid investing in real estate in France. And number 3, if you're going to burn down a building, please make sure it's not your own. Thank you for joining me on this royal screw-up today. And remember, if you ever need a pick-me-up, just remember, you could have been king of France.